Hey guys, Melissa here. I had some really great questions this week about backbending, and I thought I'd bring my good friend Pink Pelvis in to talk a little bit more about the breath and why the exhale works so well in backbending and how we can apply it to these asanas that we're working on with more depth and more control. So, this is your pelvis, and the pelvic bowl in the body is always tilting a little bit forward. And when we're back bending, we're reaching this top part of the pelvis up as the highest point in the pose. Above the pelvis, we have the large intestines and the sex organs that kind of sit here. So if you've ever had a day where maybe you had a big tofu burger at 8 p.m. and you get on your mat to practice and you're like, whoa, why are my hamstrings tight, for example? Or, why am I not back bending well? It's because the space that needs to move and have the most freedom and control is filled with a tofu burger. so so if you make that decision, just adjust your expectations, and know that maybe those asanas are going to be a little more challenging if you're practicing on a morning where you've had said tofu burger. So up above the pelvis, so we have the spine and then the diaphragm that sits right here. So when we inhale, the diaphragm goes out like this, but it also drops down into the small intestines, right? And then the large intestines, sex organs, bunch of other organs back here, and whatever else we might be carrying in our bodies at the time. If you have a coffee or water before practice and you don't pee, that is still going to be in there that you have to move around. So also adjusting your expectations according to what is your morning ritual and what can the body kind of comfortably move around within the framework of that. So the diaphragm is dropping down into the pelvic bowl, the pelvic girdle, right? Into maybe there's not a ton sitting there. There's a modest amount sitting there. So as you inhale, it's dropping down. As you exhale, the diaphragm is moving up. So there's less pressure on whatever's sitting here, organs, small intestines, that sort of thing, and they can stretch and move out. And also you can draw the belly in and up more because you don't have the inhale pressing down into the pelvic girdle. So it's much more accessible to keep these points higher up on the exhale, right? And then as we inhale, we move from these points and from the diaphragm now deflating down, and we inhale to rise up like a hot air balloon. And that's kind of how those mechanisms of movement are working in your body. So we were chatting a little bit today about how do you breathe in backbending, because it's so disorienting to, especially at first, to kind of drop back and like trust that your body's gonna do it, trust that the floor is gonna be there, that the mechanics are gonna be there. So the breath might tense up or the body might tense up to protect itself. And we were kind of toggling back between, well, what's the best way to do it? Do we breathe and like try really hard, or do we breathe relaxed? And I had said, try both. Why not? And feel in your body how each one shifts the reaction of the tissues and the actual physical body as you're trying to do these difficult things that are both difficult physically but also mentally. And of course, as expected, there's a larger metaphor there for what we're actually doing on a deeper level with this yoga. But if we were going to go for the right way to do it, because I know a lot of you guys are like, it's helpful to just be binary. The right way to do it is slow, steady, even breath throughout the whole practice. You never want your breath to change its pace, to change its quality. That's the epitome of what we're going for. Realistically, the breath does change. Realistically, we do lose focus. Realistically, there are really good days and there's really bad days. But if we were looking for that, Karen had a really beautiful image the one time about, achieving a higher goal, right? So the way that it works, and Karen, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the way it works, you have the goal up here and you start here and you kind of go like this and you come down, right? But if we're talking about a specific goal in practice in terms of breath control, slow, steady, even breath the whole time. And that'll be for another video about the meditative qualities and effects that can have on your practice throughout, your entirety of your time on the mat. That's it. Really, really cool work, you guys. We're headed into another beautiful week in Zoomshala, and I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. And we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg this weekend, so I know that she's going to be on my heart throughout the whole practice, and I will be integrating her teachings of bravery and honesty, and what is truth is truth. So without further ado, love to all of you, and in loving memory of Ruth Bader Ginsburg this week. All right, you guys, see you soon. Bye. Mwah.